Eleanor will do the introduction.
And we're live. Hello, I'm Eleanor Slamba, one half of Collaboration Superpowers, hosting a virtual coffee with New York today with Jurgen Appelo for Management 3.0 workout. We have a special guest, Serge Maytim from New York, who has signed up for the workshop. And I will turn it over to Jurgen to introduce the material and to ask Serge a few questions.
All right, thank you so much. So yeah, this is the I don't know, the eighth or ninth virtual coffee that we have with participants or inhabitants of specific countries, and this is the first one that we have with people from the USA. And our first choice was New York and surroundings, and the one who accepted our invitation is Serge. Hello, Serge. How are you doing?
Hey, how you doing? I'm doing great. I got my coffee right here.
There you have your coffee. I have my coffee as well. Over
All
here.
right. Cheers.
So, Serge, tell us about yourself. Who are you, and what are you doing?
Well, I'm a recovering project manager. I used to be, PMI certified. I've been in the industry for roughly 15 years. And around 2007, I discovered Agile and Scrum. I was trained by Jeff Sutherland and followed the methodology ever since. And I came to realization that something is missing. There is a huge piece that is, that's not included in Scrum, and that's the management, Agile for the management. And I work with multiple clients, and I face the same problem over and over again. Because we can achieve certain success on a team level, and we can follow all the rituals, and we can build better software faster, but the teamwork, the inspiration, it wasn't there. It was because of the pressure, and people just not motivated to do their best. And it all starts from the top, so I started looking for more information and more ways to improve the process. And I came across your work, and I've been following ever since. And I read all the books, and I tried some games, and I think we're making progress. It's definitely a challenge, but
All right.
yeah. So I'm
Okay,
very
good.
excited
Well,
about this ability to attend your workshop and meet you face to
oh,
face.
okay, that's awesome. So, and all the books means only three. That's not
Only
that
three
much.
hours. That's right.
It sounds like a lot.
No,
So,
it's
but thank you for reading, Serge. And Eleanor, you're also from New York and surroundings, aren't you?
I am. New Haven is part of the greater New York area, although some feel more closely affiliated to Boston. That's the old Yankees-Red Sox rivalry. But I will claim status here with the virtual coffee of New York and say that the Agile project management is strong in the startup scene, strongly known, but implemented maybe in bits and pieces. And there are other sectors outside of tech that are interested in applying management that isn't just for managers. So that's what interests me the most about your work, is the idea that everyone needs to have a piece of the function of management inside organizations today.
Right. Okay. Okay. Good. So, Serge, I have a couple of questions that I ask everyone in my virtual coffees in the hangouts that we organize. And the first one is what is happening in New York City or New York greater area in terms of organizational transformation. Do you have some interesting stories for us?
yes, I do have interesting stories, and it
All
seems
right.
like well, I think the fundamental challenge that the companies, 'cause everybody, first Agile was kind of underdog, and it was waterfall. Nobody was really interested. Then all of a sudden, everybody was interested in trying Agile. And they hired Scrum coaches. They sent people to 2-day training. They become Scrum masters. They came back, but you can teach one how to play chess, but you can really, in 2 days. but follow the rituals, but can they really win the game? No. And it seems like because of the expectations are set too high, and people who actually tasked to do the transformation, they were not necessarily qualified to do that. It's getting a bad reputation. Agile is getting a bad reputation, I think. And more companies interested in transformation coaches to retrain and to fix the existing issues with the way Agile has been implemented in the past.
Okay.
And I get quite a few calls from clients in the financial sector and publishing industry. They've been trying Agile for a while, and they cannot achieve results. And it's actually quite the opposite, because it's been resistant from the management and business side of the product owners. They simply don't understand the benefits, and why should we follow? It doesn't apply to us. So Agile is seen, people see it as a technology framework, the software development, when it's really product development. And it's a change of the mindset. And that message is somehow, yeah. So now it's a mixed, there are companies who really want to do it the right way, and they just don't know how. And companies who try it and it didn't work, and they just, not happy with the whole Agile approach. Mm-hmm. So that's the current situation.
Okay. And so, you say that Agile has not been working or has been badly implemented. What do you mean with bad implementations? What went wrong usually?
Well, because there are a number of Scrum Masters and coaches, they take it as a religion. They just blindly follow the rituals without understanding what's the core meaning, and not being able to explain it and to be that engine of change. And it's, in my opinion, it's just you're given tools and you give some ideas, and you have to change, you have to mold it. It's a really boutique approach. It's based on the clients, the industry, the size of the team, the level of how ready they are. So you can't just take a book by Agile gurus and try to change the company. It's really it's really custom. It's and you have to be careful. And for some the clients I work in the past, and companies I've been working in the past, that wasn't the case, unfortunately. So.
Okay. And what do you see are the main obstacles for making things better?
The management, leadership, because everybody wants agility, transparency, increase the productivity, but nobody wants to start with themselves. They think they know what they're doing. Everybody else needs to change, but not me. So.
Doesn't that sound suspiciously like the first chapter in my book?
Yes, we've never heard that before.
Right. So, and that's been in my experience. That's true. That's what happens.
All right. Okay, Eleanor, do you have similar signals that you picked up? What is your experience?
Well, I'd say in general, the East Coast U.S. is known for taking itself a little seriously. In general, being a little wrapped pretty tight. So, they're not going to want to look silly. That would be a big fear. So, yeah.
All right. Okay. And is one of the fears to make mistakes with agile and organizational transformation, do you think?
Yes, I think that there's the feeling of a lot being at stake as an agent of change. If you're trying to bring something new into, Connecticut, right next door to New York, the nickname is the land of steady habits. So if you're the one advocating to bring something new in, you've got to sort of stand by and vouch for the results. And if it depends on a lot of other people, there's the feeling that it might just be easier not to, or you try to tap into people's courage to be willing to stick their neck out a little more than usual.
Okay, all right. And Serge, you have been working with organizations to make things better than before, trying to overcome failed agile implementations. So what do you do? what do you do to make things better? I'm curious.
Well, it's just it takes roughly up to 2 months to kind of shift the mindset, working close with the team and the business area. Business area is the key because from my experience, it was easy to transform development teams, QA, and but with the business management, it's more challenging because they don't necessarily understand, the reasons behind the change. And lead by example, I just working with the team every day and just try to change one step at a time. For my, I work for the client. They were tasked to build the major system to replace the legacy system, and they spent 2 years, different issues, but the main problem, they couldn't play nice in the sandbox. So when I joined, everybody was angry. They didn't want to, work together. They just followed the. So I set up some ground rules. We encourage people to sit together in the same location to foster the teamwork and start doing stand-ups, start using whiteboards, and reach the level of transparency when you could really, avoid many issues before they happen. And the long story short, we went live in 6 months. Everybody was ecstatic about this. So the product, everybody was happy, and the people who are arguing about the benefits of Agile, a few months later went to a conference in Philly and did the whole presentation about how Agile saved their product. And but again, this is small victories, the way I see it, because it was a success on a team level. Everybody, they trusted me, they bought in my approach, and they believed in me, and that's why I was successful. But to achieve overall transformation on a company level, you really have to win the management and really explain the value, and you have to explain how it's going to help the company to be, it's a tough world. The competition and innovation has to drive it, and unfortunately, it's really hard to convince the management to try something new and to explain the benefits of the approach, because for a number of reasons. And I think, again, my personal opinion, I think that one of the main reasons, the way I see the problems why I was not really successful working with the management, because they don't really want transparency. They don't really want to expose all the issues. Because their own incompetence could be part of the problem. So why would they let me expose that, right?
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, you could expose that the wrong people are in the
exactly,
wrong
and the people
yes.
they're responsible for, people they hired. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a comment. We have a comment in the chat box, Jurgen, from a Charlie, who echoes. Yeah, he echoes what I said a moment ago about how nobody wants to stick their neck out, and then he says, coming from a software development background, developers get it, but project managers, business analysts, testers find it hard, even more so the business people just don't understand the costs and the benefits.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Good. Well, it's fascinating, and indeed not something that we can solve in a couple of days, I'm afraid, Sergey.
Yeah.
So anyway, but we try to contribute. That's why I'm planning to come to the US to share my stories of the things I learned all over the world. What do you think? What should I be aware of when doing a workshop in New York? I've already learned from Eleanor that the East Coasters don't want to stick their neck out. That's an interesting thing to learn. Anything else that you could whisper in my ear?
I think New York was the tough crew. They've seen it all, and they're skeptical about learning new stuff and trusting new, leaders, new speakers. It's a very tough market. There are many coaches. There are many gurus to come and want to spread the knowledge, but you have to really stand up and you have really offer something unique to get attention and to get people to follow you. Yeah.
Right. So I need to be remarkable and not like all the others that they have already seen before. I understand.
Exactly. But I honestly believe that what you offer is quite unique, and I don't think there is anything like this exist in the U.S. market.
Well, nobody else is Dutch. I'm the only one. So
Exactly.
And at the same time, there's a quest for the new, right? Wanting to find out what's new and fashionable before other people.
Exactly.
And so if people have a chance to be the first ones to play some of these games, the first ones in the U.S.,
right,
then I think that they will feel happy about that.
Okay, well, they will be the first because New York is scheduled first out of the three. The others are Chicago and San Francisco. So yes, the New Yorkers will be the first to play with new exercises. All right. Good. So that's valuable information. What can the rest of the world learn from New York? I'm sure there are things that you're doing well, but we're not only complaining, Serge. We're also celebrating things that are going right. So is there anything that we can learn from you guys?
As Frank Sinatra said, if you can make it there, you can make
it anywhere.
Exactly. It's as I said, it's a tough market, but if you make it here, you pretty much can do it anywhere else.
Yeah, things that are tried in this area and work tend to be looked at, and from other places. And so, I mean, even the coffee and pizza, if it's not good, it's not going to last. It's not going to be there the next time you come. So
exactly,
there's quality. The baseline of quality is pretty high.
Yeah. Okay.
Or at least people like to think so. I'm not, putting ourselves on a pedestal. It's just.
Well, I've been to New York City and specifically Manhattan, of course, and I can only confirm that the quality of coffee is quite high. And I have my few favorite places already. All right. So one thing that to learn is that what if you make it in New York, you make it anywhere. So it's a tough battleground. I need to prove myself there to conquer the rest of the world, apparently. How can we get people in New York involved in improving the world of work? Are people interested in that at all? Do you think, Serge?
It's a very good question, and it's a tough one. The short answer would be not really.
Okay. Why not?
I've been trying to promote the class, the workshop, for the past month. And I got very little interest. But my targets was, I tried to target management. I tried to target C-level executives, HR, marketing, and because I think this is really where the change starts. And unfortunately, the people simply didn't see the benefit of attending.
And what are their priorities? What is it that they find more important than changing the world of work?
Well, vacation schedule, worry about the bonus structure. No, honestly,
yes.
Well, because I was trying to explain that this is something tangible. It's not just you attending a course, you take some knowledge you may or may not use. You're actually going to get tools. You can come back and you can use it the very next day. But still, they were kind of iffy about how it's going to help me. This is, the whole idea is it's the perfect world. We can't really apply it to our workplace. So that was a tough way to promote the class.
Yeah. Okay. And do you think is it tougher in the East Coast than in other parts of the U.S.? Because considering the number of registrations for the workshops, New York is lagging behind.
Exactly, because as I said, New Yorkers are the most skeptical.
Hmm.
I would see it this fine in Palo Alto and Seattle area. I think this is going to be no problem. But in New York,
Yeah.
this is what, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. And Eleanor, you confirm that? Is that a generic skeptical attitude of East Coasters?
Yes, I think that's correct. I think that you have a lot of colorful illustrations, a lot of fun, whimsical cartoon designs, and they're beautiful and meaningful. But in some people might not see all of their dimensions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the way it is. I'm afraid I cannot make people more enthusiastic about change, but we can certainly try.
Well, and just like the food critics at restaurants, if a good review comes out, it's quite meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. We have
Yeah.
comments from Frederick. Jurgen, since most of your activities started in Europe, do you have any personal expectations and goals for your workshop in New York? And he also says, I think New Yorkers always look for a practical angle. Forget fancy, forget comprehensive. That's very good point. Folks are interested in tools that can be used relatively easily, that can create real connections between the theory and people's everyday work lives. Down to earth. Yeah.
Okay.
Practical, down to earth.
Okay, well that's good to hear. Then we have a one-on-one match with the content of my book and the workshop, because that was the whole focus, the purpose of the book. Indeed, wherever I went around the world, people were always asking for more practical advice, things to do next week. So I made sure that every chapter in my book is stuff that you can start doing next Monday morning. And that's the kind of stuff that we're going to talk about. So there's a great match there with the expectations, as far as I understand the comment. And what I expect from as a European from the US, I don't know. That's why I'm going there. It's an experiment. It will be an interesting learning experience for me. It is true. Europe is my home base. Lots of countries where I have been and done successful workshops, but more than half in my 4-year career since I wrote my first book have been done in Europe. And also, well, maybe because there are fewer management gurus, so to speak, in the European mainland continent, as compared to the US. It's much more crowded over there with other writers and speakers, etc. That makes it easy for me to have a pan-European approach. But I think I can add something to what the Americans have done themselves. I have some stories from the rest of the world, and most of the American writers and speakers and workshop facilitators tend to focus only on their own country. So I have some stories from Poland, from Spain, from Brazil, Argentina, from Australia, China, where I've been. So if the Americans are interested in that, then I'll be happy to talk about that.
Well, in that respect, being the quintessential metropolitan city, I think that the stories from around the world is a great thing to glean and to share in New York.
Indeed, yeah. So as we've said, the New York is as of now lagging in the number of participants, registrations for the workshops. The others are confirmed in Chicago and San Francisco. We're still working on New York, and that is one reason why we have these virtual coffees. Still possible to confirm the workshop, but we'll see in the next week or so if that happens. If not, I will be more than happy to see you, Serge, and just have a coffee and talk about how difficult life is in New York. with all that quality food around you.
It's not that bad, but it's definitely challenging, and yeah, it would be great to connect.
All right, awesome.
Well,
So
Serge, we have a bag of coffee for you as a prize for signing on that we will send.
Thank you.
good, you earned it. Thank you for
And
all your contribution and your work to get trying to get the workshop organized.
Yeah,
That's
I would really, it would really make me, happy if we could actually have it and have enough people to be able to hold it in New York City.
good. Good. So we keep working on it, and I will be in New York anyway, so it will be nice to see you.
Great. Absolutely.
And I see Eleanor has just dropped out.
Yeah.
By accident, I hope.
She got upset that she didn't get her coffee. Right. But I just one more thing I want to mention that
Yeah, go ahead.
that I'm originally from Europe, obviously, and from my experience, I don't want to say that European audience is more open-minded, but there's definitely a difference, and there is definitely a reason why American agile coaches spend most of the time in Europe coaching and training. So that's definitely. I can't find explanation just yet, but I'm working
sorry,
on it.
I didn't get I get that. You compared American coaches with
I
European
said
coaches?
a lot of American agile coaches, the the founding fathers of agile and signers of the manifesto, they spend a lot of time coaching and training in Europe, and they have a larger audience in Europe.
Interesting. Interesting.
So
Yeah.
that's the puzzle I'm trying to like how the mindset is different.
Okay. Yeah.
Why it's more successful in Europe than in the States.
Right. Okay. Interesting. So, well, I look forward to learning more about that mindset difference, something that I can use to improve my own facilitation skills. I'm quite sure. And well, considering that Eleanor has gone, she's probably struggling with her connection right now. It
Right.
doesn't matter. We've near the end anyway. So thank you, Serge, for joining us, and Eleanor or Lisette, the other collaboration superpowers, superwoman, will be sending you a nice coffee bag of coffee, and I hope to see you in New York.
I really hope so.
All right, awesome. So, bye. Thanks.
Thank you, Jurgen.